the people that we think are slightly independent of the politicians, right, that the politicians are leaning on, they have to step up and do something that will restore trust in their degree of competence and excellence and independence, right? This doesn't have to happen, by the way. You can just have continual erosion of trust in any public institutions and science, right?
No, you can't, because ultimately everything collapses.
The
breakdown of trust is one of the great threats.
It's a huge threat,
Western democracies,
but it is not guaranteed that we'll avoid it, though, right? So you have to take it seriously, right? So when you have these situations where it seems that public institutions are taking their cues directly to protect, basically, to insulate totally fantastic and untested policy, they're thought bubbles. And they turn out to be brain farts, right? But they are locked into our planning documents in such a way that it's not permitted to be questioned whether it would occur and is viable, right? So this kind of behaviour, I think it needs to be called out from the top of the institutions themselves, that they have done something that is eroded their own trust. And that's why I've said the ISP, at the moment, there is nothing in that document that I think anyone can cite and say, oh, it's good for proving this point. Timetable for coal closures? No, it's driven by the 82%. How much renewables we'll have in 2035? That's driven by the 82%. When we might have nuclear, there's no reference there that checks out. How much carbon we're going to save? That doesn't check out either. You've lost the Scope 1 emissions. There is literally nothing in the integrated system plan that anyone can say about it now and say, oh yeah, this is done properly, this is credible, this might be true or have made the right comparisons. And so I just think that it's got to that crazy point where I'm tired of kind of banging, whack-a-mole every person that says anything about the ISP and says it doesn't support that, can't be used for this is not trustworthy, that's got a stupid assumption that no one will defend anymore. It needs to be torn up by the experts themselves and say, sorry, this is not fit for purpose. It has been used for the wrong purpose. If they want to have and restore the trust that they are doing something that's credible, they need to own the fact that the government has now overly influenced this and it is not meeting the standard of a proper, fit-for-purpose objective analysis. That's the only way I think that we can get to the point where we restore trust in the institutions, that they are doing something trustworthy, that they have maintained independence, that they have done their expert best to test and compare all the things. So it's a desperate and dire situation, but I just can't see how it happens now without people inside these institutions acknowledging what's gone wrong, and it will mean there'll have to be resignations.